What's up, YouTube? Today we're going to be presenting the Lest We Forget project. My name is Jason Donaldson, and we will be looking into the 43rd President of the United States, George W. Bush. George W. Bush, his early life. George Walker Bush is his full name. He was born on July 6, 1946, in New Haven, Connecticut. While his father was attending Yale, he was raised in Midland and Houston, Texas. He had an education at Yale University and Harvard Business School. He is one of the first to hold an MBA. He served in the Texas National Guard from 1968 to 1973. He also worked in the oil industry and co-owned the Texas Rangers baseball team. Bush's political rise. He didn't just skyrocket from the start. In 1978, he failed a congressional run and lost in the 19th Texas District. But in the election of 1994 for governor of Texas, he was elected, then re-elected in 1998 with record support. His leadership style worked across both party lines and focused on education reform and tax relief, and his reputation positioned himself as a compassionate conservative, blending conservative values with social outreach. Bush's presidential campaign. During the 2000s presidential debate, Bush went against Al Gore, who was the vice president under the time of Bill Clinton. Some key campaign themes were his broad across the board tax cuts, his educational accountability, no child left behind, the restoration of integrity to the presidency after Clinton Lewinsky scandal. But his presidential campaign wasn't perfect. It did have some controversies, like the Florida recount, which led to a Supreme Court case, Bush v. Gore, and how he won with 271 electoral votes, despite losing the popular vote over 500,000 votes, which did give him a deeply polarizing beginning to his presidency. Bush's presidency major changes. During his presidency, 9/11 terror attacks happened, which unified the nation in grief and started the War on Terror. The Afghanistan War in 2001 was to dismantle Al Qaeda and remove Taliban from power. But Bush declared his most controversial war yet, which was the Iraq War in 2003, and claimed Iraq had weapons of mass destruction, even though Saddam Hussein had gone there with zero weapons of mass destruction, which sparked controversy. Some policies he has, such as the No Child Left Behind Act, which aimed to improve educational outcomes through standardized testing. The tax cuts for individuals and business to boost the economy, and the creation of the Department of Homeland Security and the USA Patriot Act. But why is he the most controversial? George Bush, even though he was a good president, he had some major controversies that make you think twice, such as the Iraq War, where he claimed about mass weapons of destruction, launched a massive invasion, and thousands of US and Iraqi deaths occurred, which ended up leaving the region destabilized forever, even to this day. Hurricane Katrina, on how federal response was slow, he was criticized for the lack of urgency and empathy for the people. The Guatemala Bay and torture allegations, which the CIA used waterboarding and secret prisons. The financial crisis in 2008, where he was accused of under-regulating Wall Street and bailout schemes to big banks. And finally, the Patriot Act was seen as infringing on civil liberties and expanding government surveillance. Mm. But he had some accords and successes. Even though he had a lot of controversy, let's not forget the successes he had as a president. In 2003, he brought a historical amount of aid relief initiatives in Africa, which saved millions of lives. His Medicare's Prescription Drug Act, which was the largest expansion of Medicare since its creation. The US-India Civil Nuclear Agreement that strengthened the US and Indian ties and supported peaceful nuclear energy. The education reform, despite the criticism to the No Child Left Behind, it brought focus on performance and accountability. But what did he do after his presidency? His post-presidency. After his presidency, he returned to a private life back in Texas. To leaving office in 2009, the George W. Bush Presidential Center opened in 2003 at SMU, and he would have a significant veteran love, and he focused on helping wounded soldiers and military families. Bush did also become a prolific painter and had a political silence and rarely spoke or commented on politics during Obama and the early Trump years. But why is he lesser known today? George Bush is lesser known today because he's overshadowed by the Barack Obama historical presidency and Donald Trump's controversial political rise to power. He ended up becoming less active in the political world and maintained a low public profile after 2009. In a generational shift, most times nowadays, younger voters know about the recent leaders. In the Bush era, it just feels different. His legacy and what he's left. His legacy has many mixed opinions, which were once highly criticized, but now are seen as more favorable for his dignity and nonpartisan conduct post office. His global healthcare impact, like PrEPFAR, remains still one of the most praised initiatives in U.S. foreign aid. Thanks to him, he's reshaped the intelligence and in defense infrastructure. Sorry. He even advocated spreading democracy abroad with mixed results. And he's just a transformative figure in modern U.S. history and still debated by historians and the public alike. The conclusion: George W. Bush's life and leadership reflects the complexities of modern American politics, which are crazy. Born into a powerful political family, he carved his own path as a businessman, governor, and a two-term president during one of the most turbulent times in U.S. history. His presidency was defined by crisis from the devastation of 9/11 and the wars that followed. The natural disasters and economic upheaval, while his decisions sparked intense debate, he also led significant global health efforts, education reform, and reshaped national security policy. After leaving office, he chose a quieter life of reflection, philanthropy, and art, showing a humbler, more personal side to a once defensive leader. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. Make sure to leave a comment on what you learned or something new that you learned.